Hey guys, today I wanted to discuss with you one of the inventory concepts which we have inventory transactions. Under that, one of the major concept I could say miscellaneous transactions. So majorly, miscellaneous transactions is using for either increase or decrease of your stock balances in the system point. So for example, you have there was transaction made in the physical inventories in the warehouse side that unfortunately you could not able to have adjustments through the interfaces whatever the regions, and that needs to be making a manual adjustment in the system point. It may be either increase or it may be either decrease. Those kind of adjustments could be done through the by using miscellaneous transactions. You can utilize one of the GL string to have an entry to make it accounting creation for that. And to supported miscellaneous transaction increase or decrease of stock balances, we have separately other up supported transactions, I could say, like miscellaneous, we can call it as a MISC receipts, and we can also call have MISC issue transactions. So MISC receipt, if you wanted to call it as a miscellaneous receipt, is mainly using for the positive transaction. So when you want to increase your stock balances, I could say stock balance is nothing but on-hand balance. So when you wanted to increase of your on-hand balance, you can perform the miscellaneous receipt. When you wanted to decrease of your stock balances or on-hand balance, you can use miscellaneous issue. So in this video, we're going to see how to perform miscellaneous transaction in the cloud applications. And once you perform the miscellaneous transaction, where we can validate that and how we can see whether the on-hand balance has been increased or decreased in the system. Okay, so I'm going to the application. So once you have Oracle application login to the system, so to perform miscellaneous transactions, you need to have uh, the function or offering, I could say, called supply chain execution. Under this supply chain execution, you have inventory management. There you can able to perform your miscellaneous transactions. So once you log into the inventory management and you have the task option, so once you click on the task, you have the show task. In this show task, you have the inventory and other functionalities like count and ship picks and receipts. So where we wanted to perform, or especially for the miscellaneous transactions, we can choose inventory. And at this, if you see in the second option, create miscellaneous transaction, create miscellaneous transaction. Just click on that. It will ask which inventory organization you wanted to make these adjustments. So we have seeded up Oracle providing inventory warehouses. I'm just taking 001. So enter, and it has the two sections. One is a header section and one is a line section. So header section will have what date you are trying to post and what is the type that you are trying to make your adjustment, and use current cost item. So when you wanted to choose current cost item, yes, it will take your existing item cost. And if you're taking a no, you need to manually enter the cost for the particular transaction. Okay. So the type I wanted to post for the positive transaction, so that I'm choosing miscellaneous receipt, miscellaneous receipt. So if you wanted to create my own transaction, is it possible in the system? Yes, that is also possible. You can create your own naming convention transaction type in the system as well. So every time if you don't want to provide a GL string, I wanted to give one GL string at header level and it has to come for all the lines. That is also possible. We have supported account receipt, and if you wanted to hide your accounting string, then we have the account alias is a concept where it will hide your GL string, and instead that it will show some different naming convention, so that by using that you can perform your transactions. Like, so you can keep inventory adjustments, scrap material transactions, kind of a naming keep conventions you can keep. By using those naming conventions, you can perform the miscellaneous transactions. So I'm taking current cost as a no. For now, I just wanted to enter my cost for this particular item lines. So then you can go to the lines, create a plus symbol. So it will allow you to create an item, enter an item. So I have an item which starts with RF. So RF helmet is my item. I wanted to, if you see this, currently availability of this product is 0 because of we do not have any stock balances in the system. Assume that you have received 10 mid helmets in the physically, that those 10 elements you are trying to enter in the system point. So I wanted to keep this material in the stored sub inventory. What is the quantity? I want to keep my 10 quantity pieces. So what is the accounting string that you wanted to hit for this 10 quantity transactions? So assume that I wanted to keep this material into this particular entry. So miscellaneous transaction, you have 60540. So click on OK. Okay. So now you need to enter your cost. Click on edit. Click on edit. So here we have the item cost option is there. Click on enter cost details. So take a plus symbol. You can enter your cost of the product. So the my helmet is 1300 rupees. My helmet cost is 1300 rupees. So if you wanted to enter any other details, okay, for example, reason or something, so you can enter that reasons also, and stock adjustments. So I wanted to keep this as a stock adjustments. So if you wanted to maintain some data, so reference and physically received in warehouse WMS I can keep, okay. And if you wanted to track any other information or you wanted to keep any attachment, for example, I wanted to keep some attachment, so I wanted to keep some image. So this is some image which I downloaded. I'm just having my image here. And if you wanted to see if anything can be maintained up here, if you wanted to maintain some location type external or internal, you can also attach your location here. For now I'm not required, so I'm just going to click on OK. So I'm good. So no other information is required. I gave some additional information. Ideally you no need to give those information. So to perform quick miscellaneous transaction, item, sub inventory, quantity and account and price like item cost is fair enough to create your transaction. So my transaction is successfully processed without no issue. How do I see whether it was successfully created or not? Way to validate that. To validate your successful transactions in the Fusion application, you can go to review completed transactions. Review completed transactions. We can search with a particular time period basis, or you can check with the warehouse basis, or you can check with sub inventory basis. As I have item, I can check with my item basis. So click on search. So if you see, the most of the details are there. If you wanted to see if any fields are hidden, you can show all so that it will come all the fields. So item, sub inventory stores which we have selected, and the price and the date and type, miscellaneous transaction, miscellaneous receipt, the inventory, it's inventory related, and the account that we have selected, and even its reason is populated here, and reference, whatever the naming that we have given, it is populated over there, the quantity, unit of measure. So that we actually action will decide, okay. So receipt into stores is a positive action that has been decided. The cost is still interfacing to the cost. So once the costing get affected, it will view your pricing information as well. So if you wanted to see on hand balance has been added or not, there is other screen called manage item quantities. There you can see how much stock has been there for the particular item. So search with the item, click on search. You can see 10 on-hand balances. 10 on-hand pieces has been accepted. See 10. So 10 is available for transact, available for reserve. So you can reserve, you can use this 10 quantity for reserve. You can use this 10 quantity for transact as well. So if you wanted to see detail, so click on this icon. So it will give the detailed information where it is there exactly, which sub inventory, everything. Okay. So similarly, we try to perform one more transaction for the issue transaction. I'm going back to the create miscellaneous transaction. The type is miscellaneous issue. I'm taking now miscellaneous issue. So now I have cost for last time I registered. So this time I'm taking as a use my cost as yes, so that it will take your current cost. Take a plus symbol, give your item RF and go to the quantity. By quantity I'm issuing. So 60540 is my account. So click on plus symbol. 60540. Click on OK. So if you want to enter more details, click on edit and do, otherwise not required. Okay, for this time I'm not going to enter anything. I'm just proceeding with the basic information. Click on submit. The records has been processed. Now go and validate. It should be 5 quantity because of initially we added 10 quantity, later we issued out the 5 quantity. So now it should have the remaining 5 pieces in the system. So just go to search, see the only 5 pieces. But this screen won't show how those 5 quantities has been detected. So where do I see those entries in the system? You need to go to a review completed transaction. You can search with the item basis or day basis transaction so that it will show all the entries that was happened for this particular item. See, there is a positive entry and similarly there is a negative entry, 5 pieces. If you see here, so what is the transaction type? It's a miscellaneous issue. That's the reason it has been detected the material. Even it doesn't have the reason and reference because of we did not selected anything. If you see the action, the issue from the store. Where do I create our own transaction type in the system? We'll just going to see the navigation and I'm not going to define, but I'll just show you the navigation where we can create new transaction types in the system. So once you go to the setup and maintenance, come to the manufacturing supply chain material, there you can go to the inventory management. Once you're coming to the inventory management, so there is a task called manage inventory transaction source and types. Here is a screen where you can create your own transactions in the system. So simply take a plus symbol and create your own transaction source first. So once you create the source, then you need to define the type. Okay, so this type will have the actions here. So naming, you can keep whatever name. If I can keep receipt, if I take the action issue from the store, it will perform issue from the store. Naming is just a appearance perspective. Naming won't decide what kind of a transaction that you are performing. That will going to be decided only based on your action. So if you are taking receipt into stores and you need to appearance perspective and easy identification perspective, we are trying to match with the same. Okay. So this is how we can go and define your own transaction sorts and transaction types in the system. Okay, so if you see somebody has been created with the naming, but he did not enter anything. So if I try to keep here, so I can have the multiple options because of the first one, which I was enabled, that's a seeded one. This is the custom one somebody has been created. If I see, I have different entries. This is for miscellaneous receipt, and this is for miscellaneous issue. This is for sub-inventory transfer, and this is for intra transfer direct and intra transfer for in transit. Accordingly, you can define your own transaction types as well. Your own transaction types as well. That's all for today. So thank you guys.